In which of the following acts the provision was made for the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta? A. Regulating Act, 1773. B. Pitt's India Act, 1784. C. Charter Act, 1813. D. Charter Act, 1833. Ans. A. With reference to the establishment of Supreme Court, which of the statement are correct? A. Supreme Court at Calcutta was established by the Regulating Act of 1773. Though Leicester was the first Chief Justice of this court. Select the correct answer using codes given below. Codes: A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Ans. A. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer from the code given below the lists. List I. List though. A. Establishment of Board of Control 1. Regulating Act, 1773. B. Establishment of Supreme Court 2. Pitt's India Act, 1784. C. Permission to English missionaries to work in India 3. Charter Act, 1813. D. Appointment of law member in Governor General Council 4. Charter Act, 1833. Code ABCD. A. 1, 2, 3, 4. B. 2, 1, 3, 4. C. 1, 2, 4, 3. D. 2, 4, 1, 3. Ans. B. Which of the following led to the introduction of English education of India? A. Charter Act of 1813. Do. General Committee of Public Instruction, 1823. 3. Orientalist and Anglicist controversy. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. Ans. D. By which act the British Parliament had abolished the monopoly of East India Company's trade in India except tea and China trade? A. Charter Act of 1813. B. Charter Act of 1833. C. Charter Act of 1853. D. Charter Act of 1873. Ans. A. Which Act of British Parliament abolished the East India Company monopoly over trade in India? A. Regulating Act. B. Pitt's India Act. C. Charter Act of 1813. D. None of the above. Ans. C. Consider the following statements about the Charter Act of 1813. A. It ended the trade monopoly of the East India Company in India except for trade in tea and trade with China. Though it asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. 3. The revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. Ans. A. Which act for the first time made it possible for Indians to take some share in the administration of their country? A. Charter Act, 1833. B. Charter Act, 1853. C. Government of India Act, 1858. D. Indian Councils Act, 1861. Ans. A. Read the following statements with reference to the Indian Councils Act 1861 and choose the correct option. 1. As a result of this act, total members of Executive Council of Governor-General became 7. Though, for legislative work, number of additional members could be minimum of 6 and maximum of 12. 13. No differentiation was made between state and central subjects. Which of the above statements is true? A. 1, 2, and 3. B. 2 and 3. C. 1 and 3. D. Only 1. Ans. B. Under which of the following Act, Legislative Council of India received the power to discuss the budget? A. Indian Council Act, 1861. B. Indian Council Act, 1892. C. Indian Council Act, 1909. D. Government of India Act, 1919. Ans. B. Which of the following Act provided for communal representation in British India? A. Indian Councils Act, 1892. B. Minto-Morley Reforms, 1909. C. Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms, 1919. D. Government of India Act, 1935. Ans. B. The Act of 1909 was associated with A. Introduction of separate electorate. B. Decentralization. C. Dyachi. D. Legislative councils. Ans. A. By which one of the following acts was the Federal Court in India created? A. Indian Council Act, 1861. B. Government of India Act, 1909. C. Government of India Act, 1919. D. None of the above. Ans. D. The Federal Court of India was established in which of the following year? A. 1935. B. 1937. C. 1946. D. 1947. Ans. B. Under which of the following acts, Dyachi was introduced at central level? A. Act of 1909. B. Government of India Act, 1919. C. Government of India Act, 1935. D. Indian Independence Act, 1947. Ans. C. Which of the following acts set up Dyachi system at the central level? A. Government of India Act, 1935. B. Government of India Act, 1919. C. Indian Councils Act, 1909. D. Indian Councils Act, 1892. Ans. A. Which of the following is, are the principal feature, S, of the Government of India Act, 1919? A. The introduction of Dyachi in the executive government of the provinces. Though, the introduction of separate communal electorates for Muslims. 3. Devolution of legislative authority by the centre to the provinces. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. A. Only 1. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. Ans. C. In the context of Indian history, the principle of Dyachi, Dyaki, refers to a. Division of the central legislature into two houses. B. Introduction of double government, i.e., central and state governments. C. Having two sets of rulers, one in London and another in Delhi. D. Division of the subjects delegated to the provinces into two categories. Ans. D. In the Government of India Act 1919, the functions of provincial government were divided into reserved and transferred subjects. Which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? A. Administration of justice. Though, local self-government. 3. Land revenue. 4. Police. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1, 2 and 3. B. 2, 3 and 4. C. 1, 3 and 4. D. 1, 2 and 4. Ans. C. Which act established the Dyachi system in the provinces? A. The Government of India Act of 1935. B. The Government of India Act of 1919. C. The Indian Council Act of 1861. D. Molly-Minto Reforms of 1909. Ans. B.